اتفضل يا استاذ.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am Mr. Muhammad Albadri, and I will be your science teacher at Future Academy, inshallah. Before I start, I would like to talk a little about the academy and the techniques that we will use to teaching science together, inshallah. First of all, me and the academy are proud to have you with us today. Here in the academy, we will teach science with a new entertainment methods such as games, videos, and weekly quizzes. And of course, we will make sure that you will understand the science, not to memorize it. Here in the Future Academy, you will learn science in a completely different and entertainment way, inshallah. So let's start. There is any problem to complete with English with us, guys?
لو انتوا حاسين ان الشرح بالانجليزي هيكون صعب، ممكن الاستاذ محمد يعني يديكوا شويه عربي يعني. اوكي، لو في حد فيكم حابب يكون في ميكس ما بين العربي والانجليزي يقول لنا ان شاء الله. وبرضه عايز اقول لكم ان المايكات مفتوحه، اللي حابب يفتح المايك في اي وقت يسال او يشارك.
ايه خلود او ادم، في مشاكل عندكم ان انا اكمل بالانجلش ولا نعمل ميكس بين الانجلش والعربي؟
يعني خلينا
Actually, I am a teacher.
Okay, very good. Sorry. Adham.
اوكي.
أدهم.
اوكي، ممكن نستمر يا استاذ محمد بالانجلش، وان شاء الله تبقى الامور واضحه، وما شاء الله طلاب لغات يعني.
اوكي ان شاء الله. So let's start. I will start with a simple question with a riddle. The answer of this question will be today's topic, inshallah. So the riddle is: I am off running, but I have no legs. You need me, but I don't need you. What am I? Again, I am off running. I can running, but I have no legs. You need me, but I don't need you. What am I? Okay.
Motion.
Bara Ulay. Okay, anyone know the answer? Adham, Bara, Ali.
I know.
Okay. Ali, do you know the answer?
No, it's Adam. not Ali.
Okay, Adam, do you know the answer?
Motion.
Okay, let's make it more easier. Without it, you can't farming. Without it, you can't live. You need it to make drinks, for example.
Yeah, so motion is wrong?
Wrong. I think will be. Okay, Adam. Something you use it to make a cup of tea, for example. Okay. Anyone? Ali? Okay. Something like water, for example. This topic will be about water, inshallah. Without water, we can't farming, we can't live. It's can running, but it have no legs. So today we'll talk about water, inshallah. In the natural, we found water in different phases. We found water as a liquid in ocean and seas. We found it as gas in the atmosphere, like clouds. We found it as a snow on the top of the mountains. So there is a different phases that water be in the natural. So I can say that there is a different steps or stages that water crosses between it in the natural. In a stage or step, it's a liquid, like in oceans and seas. In another stage, it's a vapor or gas, like clouds in the sky or in the atmosphere. In another stage, it's snow on the top of the mountains. So there is a different stages that water crosses between it in the natural. These stages, all these steps make the water cycle. So today we will talk about the water cycle, the stages or steps that water crosses between it in the natural. Okay. So by using that, I have told you to what is the water cycle? Anyone know what is the water cycle? Do you know anything about the water cycle? Adham, Bara, or anything? Anyone? Okay, Adham.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, water can go from to a solid by freezing, and it can become a gas by evaporating. So on.
Very excellent. So there is evaporating, freezing to make it as a snow. Like Adam said, this is the water cycle stages. The water cycle, it's the way that water crosses between oceans, liquid, oceans and seas, sky or atmosphere, gas, like clouds, and ground surface, rivers, running water. So the steps or the stages that we have when water be a liquid in oceans and seas, and it be a vapor in cloud in the sky or in the atmosphere, it's a running water like rivers. That's the water cycle. So let's move to the water cycle stages. Okay. Adham, if you put the water, if you get some water and put it on fire in your kitchen, if you heat it, what will happen?
It will evaporate.
Very good. It will turn to a vapor. Like we can see now, if you get some water and put it on fire, it will turn to a vapor. Okay, so when water turns to vapor by heating, we call it evaporation. Okay, so the first stage we have today, evaporation. Evaporation happens to the water in the natural. How? When the sun heats water, it turns to a vapor. Heats any type of water? No. Heat liquid water in oceans, seas, rivers, lakes. So when the sun heats the liquid water in the natural, it turns to a vapor. This vapor goes into the sky. And this is evaporation. So again, evaporation, when the sun heats water and it turns to a vapor, then this vapor goes into the sky or goes into the atmosphere. And this is evaporation. Okay, let's move to the next stage. Okay, guys, if you look at the sky in the morning, what you will see? Okay, Abdullah, can you tell me if you look at the sky, what you will see? Bara. Okay. Abdullah. Yeah, Abdullah's out.
Clouds.
Very good. If you look at the sky, you will see a cloud. But how does cloud form? After
Condensation,
evaporation.
the water vapor.
Okay, very good. After evaporation, when the water turns to vapor and then this vapor goes into the sky, when it reaches the atmosphere, it turns to a tiny droplets of water, a small droplets of water. As we can see, this blue circles, this is a tiny droplets of water. Okay, so when evaporation, when vapor goes into the sky, it turns to a tiny droplets. Okay, then this tiny or small droplets with other gases in the atmosphere make clouds. And this is the second stage that we have today, condensation. So condensation is when the vapor that goes into the sky after evaporation turns to a small or tiny droplets of water, okay? And this tiny or small droplets of water with other gases make together clouds. And this is condensation, okay? So we talk about evaporation and say that when water or liquid water turns to a vapor, this is evaporation. Then this vapor goes into the sky and turns to a tiny or small droplets of water. This tiny or small droplets of water make with other gases in the atmosphere clouds, and this is condensation, okay? After that, these clouds become more heavier, full of water. How? These tiny droplets of water make together a huge or a bigger droplets of water. So these clouds become more heavier and full of water. And during time, these clouds starts raining. This water starts falling from the atmosphere. This raining or this falling from the atmosphere called precipitation. So again, when this cloud become more heavier and become full of water and it starts raining or this water starts falling from the atmosphere to the ground surface, we call it precipitation. So let's make a, so precipitation is when clouds full of water and it become more heavier because of the bigger droplets of water. The water falls from the atmosphere and it starts what? Starts raining. And this is precipitation, okay? So let's make a quick revision. Abdullah, when the sun heats water and it turns to vapor, we call it Abdullah. Okay, anyone, Bara or Zainab or Adham?
Evaporation.
Evaporation, very good. Then when this vapor goes into the sky and make clouds, we call it
Condensation.
condensation, very good. Then when these clouds full of water and become more heavier and starts raining, we call it
Precipitation.
precipitation, very good. So we talk about evaporation, condensation, precipitation, but when this water that falls from the atmosphere to the ground surface, when it comes on the ground surface, it starts moving, starts running, okay? This movement or this running called accumulation or collection or runoff, okay? So again, after raining, when this water comes from the atmosphere on the ground surface, it starts running, starts moving. This movement called runoff, and this is the third, the fourth step that we have today: accumulation, collection, or runoff. So when the water moves on the ground surface after what? After precipitation. When it comes from the atmosphere after precipitation, it starts moving, starts running on the ground surface to what? To oceans or seas. And this is how rivers come, okay? But there is a amount of water, a little amount of water can seeps through the soil, seeps through it to the underground, okay? And make something called underground water. And we call it percolation, percolation. Again, when the water comes from the atmosphere to the ground surface and starts moving, starts running, this movement or this running called accumulation. During accumulation, during running, during this movement, there is a amount of water seeps through the soil underground and makes something called underground water or groundwater. And we call this step percolation, percolation, okay? So today we talk about 5 steps on the water cycle still, water cycle. Evaporation, when the sun heats water and it turns to vapor and this vapor goes into the sky, this is evaporation. Then we move to condensation when this vapor that goes into the sky turns to a tiny droplets of water and make clouds. We call it condensation. Then during time, this cloud become more heavier, full of water, so it starts raining, or this water starts falling from the atmosphere. Khulud, please mute yourself. Khulud,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, after that, when this cloud become more heavier and full of water, it starts raining, starts falling from the atmosphere. We call it precipitation. Then this water that come from the atmosphere starts running on the ground surface, starts moving. This movement or this running called runoff or accumulation or collection. During running or during this movement, there is amount of water seeps through the soil, and make underground water. We call it percolation. Until now, there is any question?
No.
Sure?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Now, let's make a quick practice to make sure that you have understand. Okay. We will play a game. Okay. There is 4 sentences and 4 cards. You read the sentence and choose the right answer. Okay. First one, the cooling of water vapor, it changing it from a gas to liquid. We call it
Condensation.
okay, condensation. Again, condensation. Okay, Adham? But perfect. Very good. Second one, water that falls from clouds to the ground surface. We call it.
Can I say again?
Okay, give us a chance. Bara or Abdullah, do you know the answer? Okay, Bara. Abdullah. Okay. Adham, again.
Okay, teacher. Precipitations. I can't say. I can't read it.
Okay, water that falls. Precipitation.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say it to you. Condensation, precipitation, evaporation, water cycle. Okay. Again. Condensation. Say it with me. Condensation.
Finish. I got it. Condensation and precipitation.
Precipitation. Very good. The heating of water changing it from a liquid to gas. Okay. Anyone? Okay, Adam or Abdullah or Bara.
Okay, nobody's answering except me.
Okay, so I think you can answer this one.
Okay, evaporation.
Evaporation, and the last one will be water cycle. Okay, you see. Very good, Adam.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think we have done today. I'm so proud to be your teacher for today, and thank you.